Hello everyone and welcome back to PGP Motorsports Park for the first race of the 2025 fall-winter season. It's a cold day, chilling up our brains, chilling up the kart's tires, and chilling up the grass, and of course chilling up the fingers of the drivers out there as they prepare for the last chance qualifying. These people finished in the bottom 10 of their respective heat races, and they're looking to make it into the top 4 to make it into the final.
And those top 4 currently on pole is one of the returning champions, actually, or championship contenders, Tamer, making his comeback. And in second is a very big shock. That is Sergey in second of the LCQ, followed closely by both Colin and Aiden Flynn. And here they come around turn 1. Let's see if they could maintain their top 4 spots so they could get into the final. Flag bearer's telling them to keep it easy. And the flag's waved, and they're away.
All right,
everybody stays tight, except for Sam going around the outside to see if he can make a move. 3 wide into turn 1. Tamer takes the lead, and Baran kind of slips in there. We got an unfortunate kart. That's one of the newer races out here. Unfortunately, he got spun around turn 1. It happens. I feel you, man. But Tamer is out in the lead, followed by Sergey. In third, that is Aiden Flynn. Unfortunately, Colin Flynn lost out and is behind, No, he's not behind. He's currently battling Scott Miller, the Rainmeister. It's supposed to rain today, but it's entirely possible the rain will wait until after all the racing is done. So the track is still damp, very tricky conditions out there. I've been hearing reports from the racers throughout qualifying and the heat races earlier that the track is slowly drying up in weird spots. You get a half dry line, half wet line on the track, and it makes it very difficult to overtake. So those first lap overtakes are crucial for all these racers to keep their positions. Tamer taking off with the lead. Sergey trying to catch up, being hounded by Aiden Flynn behind him.
Looks like we got some side-by-side action near the back there. The Rainmeister using all of his momentum to keep his position secured. Not wanting to lose that out there. And it looks like we have a huge squabble for the lead here as they all fall back into line coming out of turn 1. And it'll all be about the momentum going into roller coaster. Are people going to dare to go too wide into it? As Sergey does indeed dare. He's going to be on the outside with Tamer on the inside for going into roller coaster. They're not going to back off. Sergey does find himself on the outside, so he does lose out a little bit. Where are they going to be at through there? He's going to find himself side by side with someone else, Aiden, and he's going to keep falling in. The Rainmeister diving up on the inside of double apex and claiming second place out of nowhere.
Rainmeister out of nowhere with that brilliant move through double apex. He saw the door open just for him, said thank you very much, and went right on through. And that was free real estate for Scott Miller, the Rainmeister, who claims about 2 or 3 positions being perfect
someone's
opportunity.
Pushed off on the side right there. He does rejoin the track. It is still 3 wide. Oh, he locks it up a little bit, but he saves it.
That was Tristan who got pushed off. One of the newer races out here. Really good to keep control in those dire situations.
Manny's stuck in the middle of the squabble here. He started last place, and he's just trying to make his way up into the pack and hopefully get into that final. He had a bad heat race. Got crashed out, I think.
So Tamer's still in the lead. And Scott Miller has actually caught up to Tamer. Scott, the Rainmeister, loves these wet conditions and is really hoping it's going to start raining soon. The more it rains, the better Scott becomes. As Scott takes the inside, Tamer goes wide into turn 2. That's a bold strategy, Tamer. Let's see if it pays off for you as you drop back to second place. That might just be some misjudgment of the track there. Tamer used to be a very seasoned racer out here. He took a few years off. So now it's Scott in the lead of the race, followed by Tamer. And Sam in third place. Rounding on our top 4, it's going to be Aiden Flynn, Colin Flynn in 5th. Colin did start in the top 4, so now it's going to be Flynn versus Flynn to see who can make it into the final.
Yeah. Tamer's all over the back of Scott here, though, but that experience gap, or the recent experience gap that Scott has here is really showing as he knew to take that inside line, and he's just knowing where to take it easy. And I feel like he's got this track already figured out in its current conditions.
As you say that, however, the whole train caught up to Scott. Scott is, he's not out of the woods yet, but fortunately for Scott, There's people behind him, Sam tried to make a move on Tamer. Tamer said no thanks, and that let Aiden Flynn try to get by. And it almost worked, but Sam was able to defend it. That got really dicey for a second. And unfortunately for Colin, he couldn't capitalize on their battles, and Colin, unfortunately, is starting to drop back. Another big update Sergey, who is always in the final and battling for the lead race win, is currently in 6th. At this rate, Sergey is going to lose out on the first race of the season. Sergey's on the defensive.
Yeah, there's a lot of strong people down here in the LCQ. A lot of mistakes early on in the heat races, it seems like, leading to a very competitive LCQ at the top here.
So it's worth noting, today's conditions, they're starting the new season off on an extremely tricky track. It rained overnight, it even froze overnight, but the track thawed out, but it's really hard to tell where the grip is going to be. So it's a battle of adaptability today. And it's very, very tricky to see where you can put the kart and what you can do. So, fortunately, the gaps haven't opened up too much. There's still time and opportunity for everybody to fight for a position in the final. But as it stands now, coming down this little mini straight between 6 and 5, we got the Rainmeister, followed by Tamer, Sam, and Aiden. That's our current top 4. We got Colin in the hunt for 5th, Sergey hunt from 6th, and one of the new races I hear, Tristan, in 7th hunting. So it is entirely possible that Tristan, on his first run out here, could have an opportunity to fight for his position in a final.
Yeah, especially with Sergey back there. He's just doing everything he can to just try to get into that first final here. And then the Reinmeister showing brilliant defense, holding off Tamer and the likes. People were really close to him in that first part of the section of the track, and it seems like in the second part with the hairpins, that's where the Rainmeister here is able to get all his positions. But a move being made on Tamer. Tamer making a move on the inside of Scott. Scott, nothing he's able to do as Tamer dives up on the inside of Roller Coaster and takes first place.
That was clean. That was brilliantly placed by Tamer. Tamer brakes just as hard as he needed to. He knew where the grip was, and he was able to make that move on Scott. Scott likely didn't fight that too hard, because he knows he's part of a train, and that train is catching up to Scott even as we speak. I feel it's in Scott's best interest to just stay in the train and not fight too hard with Tamer, because he might risk out losing that top 4 spots, because as in this big train of karts, only the top 4 are going to go to the final.
You say that, they start battling too wide. Scott now stuck on the outside, and he's going to lose 2 more positions at minimum, it looks like. And there goes a 3rd position possibly. Nope. He's able to minimize damage mitigation. He brings it up to losing only the 1 position, but he's going to have to take that inside line, but he doesn't. As someone climbs up onto the inside, maybe the outside line will do work for him. There's a little bit of slipperiness. There's a little bit of contact.
And Colin Flynn dives in the 2nd. Colin from 5th has tried to make a move for the lead of the race. Everybody's coming together.
Even Manny's here, starting from the back of the pack. He's got a lot to gain here. The squabble.
The entire grid is battling for these top 4 spots. This is the most intense fight we have seen in an LCQ.
This is really where it's going to kick off. 2 wide into Roller Coaster, 2 by 2. Are they going to be able to all come out of it cleanly? The track is slippery, so we've seen mistakes with people just racing by themselves. So it's very risky to go into it like that and potentially crash out. But here they go, going around Roller Coaster. Scott has the lead, Tamer right behind him. These guys have been the top 2 pretty much this whole race after that brilliant move from... Oh, no, and then there's contact.
Oh, no, someone goes off.
Everything kicks off.
That's Tamer.
Scott loses so many positions. I think that's a penalty coming towards Tamer's way. He just went into the side of Scott there.
That was actually... The person who got shoved off was Ethan. Ethan lost out on everything. Tamer still leads the race. I didn't see exactly what happened, but I did see Ethan.
With the zoom in, what happened was Tamer went to the side of Scott a little bit. He lost a lot of momentum, and there was nowhere for Ethan to go, so he ended up falling off the track.
Ethan's not here today. I said that by mistake. It's actually Aiden.
And it looks like the revenge has been taken. He got shoved off a little bit wide there.
And now Sergey's in the lead!
And Sergey somehow sneaks up into the lead. Tamer now falls back down to the 5th place. He might not make it into the final, as people have identified him as an aggressor and are pushing him around a little bit.
Yeah, so what happened, Colin felt like he did a dirty overtake and tried to give the spot back, but the person he did that move to, Tamer, has dropped back to 5th. Tamer from 1st is now in 5th out of the 4 spots. So our top 4 now are Sergey. I gotta zoom on that.
Yeah, that is Sergey in the lead.
Followed by Sam, Colin Flynn, and So hard to tell.
Hard to
No,
tell.
Tamer's back in the top 4. No, he's
No,
not.
he's in 5th. He's in 5th right now. And then just behind them, I see a black flag. They're looking.
Oh, man.
I'm not sure if they're
That's
gonna point
unfortunate.
it quite yet.
This is gonna shake some things up. 2x2 down turn 6 and 5. That's rare. You almost never see that. Colin on the outside of turn 5. This might end bad for him. You never want to be on the outside of turn 5. But he manages to stay in 2nd. Colin Flynn doing an incredible drive today. Sam in 3rd. Tamer in 4th. Tamer currently under threat by, oh man, is that Linus? Nah, Linus isn't wearing that. Linus is behind Tam. Linus? That is Linus. Way to go, Linus, but you're in 5th now. You were in 4th. So this is... They are changing so many positions. It's hard for me to keep up.
Yeah, lots of battles going on. And the Rainmeister, I wouldn't count him out yet. We saw him go from 6th to 2nd already in this race. And Sergey, now leading the race, after falling back so many positions, snuck his way up into 1st after all that chaos. And we'll see if we have yet another round of chaos before this race closes out. It could be anyone's game for who's going to finish in the top 4 and make it into that highly coveted final that we are seeing.
Yeah, the final is where all the big points are scored. You still get points for the LCQ. However, you get more points from the final. So they're really fighting for that golden opportunity. We've seen people go from the late positions in the final all the way to like top 10, even top 5 positions. So anything can happen out here.
Oh, Tamer pushes a little bit too hard, and Linus is able to just dive up on the inside, take that position back. And now here is Scott, now behind Tamer, ready to push him further back if he can potentially get that overtake.
That was opportunistic from Linus. He saw that move and he went for it. Tamer's leaving the door open a lot today. I'm very surprised.
Yeah, it's all offense, no defense. The reason he was open was because he was looking at making a move there, but that just compromised his grip and momentum, and he slid it out a little bit wide, and that gave Linus the perfect opportunity to shoot up and claim that spot. And now
Sam.
2 wide in 2nd place.
Sam making a move on Colin, and it's working.
And Linus making a move.
Linus really hungry for positions, and he takes those positions. Linus and Sam side by side for 2nd place into turn 1 as Sergey's getting away with it, but just barely. And that's Sam in 2nd. Now Colin getting jockeyed. Can he make it through? It looks like he can. So coming out of Double Apex, we got Sergey, Linus,
There's
followed
still fighting going on. 2 wide in Light Bulb.
Sergey, Sam, Linus, and Colin gets... Oh, no, Colin goes wide. And I think that
but
was
he's got
Nick
the inside
get
for
it.
top of the world.
Oh, no, wait. That's Aiden. Aiden has made a comeback. Despite getting shoved off track, Aiden's back in the top 4. This is the biggest LCQ scramble I've seen since I've started commentating. This is insane.
This is absolutely massive. Like, this is just entertainment on the from the top right here. And we have our squabble of 4 right here with the Rainmeister leading the way. He's going to be caught up on, though.
We got a battle for the lead. 2 wide into turn 3. That is Sam making an overtake on Sergey. Sam closes the door just in time, and Sam steals the lead of the race away from Sergey, who dives in the inside, but Sergey doesn't have the momentum down the inside.
And then
Sam
further
able to
back-
keep that lead.
Further back, there's a battle that the Rainmeister's stuck in. He loses out on potentially 2 positions here if he can't damage mitigate enough. He is just right up in there, and he holds on to it. But not
Yeah.
yet, though. It's 3 wide going into roller coaster.
3 wide into roller coaster. Can they make it through? Yes, they can.
Oh, the respect
Woo!
shown. They get out onto the other side of that. The Rainmeister in the lead, but he does not have that inside line. So Sam takes it back. Colin is in there as well.
The Sam's not in.
Or not Sam.
Is that Sam in there?
Is it Sam in there? I think I see Colin.
I don't think that's Sam in there. Because Sam's leading the race.
Oh, right. Sam's, yeah.
Yeah. We just have a Sam lookalike who's wearing the same colors of clothing, both shirt and pants.
Sergey in 2nd here.
Let me get that name in a minute. That's not Sam. You know who that is? That is one of the new racers out here,
Leading
Mukil.
the race?
Yeah, one of the new racers currently in 5th. He told me in the paddock that I wouldn't be saying his name. I'm proving him wrong. Mukil out here with a stellar drive for his first race out here in 5th.
Doing great. Able to take on the Rainmeister and get that lead.
And just where there's glory, there's equal amounts of tragedy when that Colin Flynn has dropped back. That is unfortunate.
Yeah, there's 2 fights of 4 karts going on at the same time here. We have the top 8 all within striking distance of each other. But
So we're starting to enter the closing stages of the race.
oh, looks like we're almost about to have another battle for the lead as Sergey catches up real quickly to Sam in the lead here around Roller Coaster.
This race is far from over.
There's so much going on here. Sergey will want to claim this lead back because he just wants to be able to start as far up as he can for that final. It's all about disaster recovery. It's all about damage mitigation.
Having that extra start position is going to give you a pretty good advantage going into the final because you want that inside line for track position so you could dig it in. Some may argue that you want the outside line so it becomes the inside line, but because these racers know how to get the most out of the inside line, it's going to be very opportunistic to try to go around the outside of turn 1 in the final, in the roller coaster. So I have a feeling that Sergey is going to fight for the win for this.
Yeah, plus, as these racers are out here, they're racing, they want to win, even if it's not going to be in the... Oh, no!
Oh!
Scott pulls up
The
a little bit
Rainmeister.
too close behind someone else and just loses the traction and loses
Yeah,
a lot
Scott,
of momentum and time.
What happened there, I think there was a little contact, and Scott just oversteered just a little bit, expecting the track to be wetter than it actually is. The track is drying. Let me go ahead and pull up these lap times, and we can see the just how quickly they're going. They are pulling 83-second laps. So the track is still damp. A full dry track is 79 to 78 seconds.
Yeah, they're still going around the outside of light bulb here because they just don't trust the inside of light bulb.
Never trust the inside of light bulb when it's slick. That is how you get sad.
That is how you fly off the track.
Yeah, inside a light bulb is a very sad corner in the wet, and it's a very bold corner in the dry.
Yeah, you need to have full trust if you're going to throw it on the inside of light bulb there. But here we see the battle for 4th place kicking off. This is for the elimination spot. Tamer holding on to 4th place, the very coveted spot. And then we have our 5th place rookie coming in. But here comes Tamer throwing an offensive move on Linus, I think it is. And able to almost claim it, but no, he's going to be stuck on the outside. And that's actually going to compromise him.
Oh.
And the rookie is going to take the spot from Tamer temporarily. Maybe.
Temporarily. No, he's got the inside. He has a golden opportunity here to get the momentum out of turn 1. Walk him behind. Close that door. And he does. Brilliant drive.
Brilliant
Keep Tamer
racing.
behind. It's the final lap as well. The white flag's being waved. No
He's
holds
not
barred.
done. He's going after Linus. It's too wide into roller coaster. Do they all make it out? Ah, he loses out to Tamer there, going for that overtake.
Really unfortunate.
Goes back down to 5th. Tamer reclaiming that 4th place spot to make it into the final on the final lap of this LCQ.
But very well fought.
Very well fought indeed. We've just had nothing but entertainment going on throughout here. It's
By
been
the
a very
way,
cold race.
according to the timing sheets, that's somehow Aiden found his way in the... Oh, Aiden did find his way in the mix. I'm blind. I was looking at the wrong part of the track. Aiden, who was knocked out of the track earlier, is still fighting for those positions and covering off Mukil. So this is going to be both... This is going to be a little heartbreaking for Mukil if he can't make this overtake, but he's got the inside line on Tamer going into turn 3, but it's not far enough. He's running out of corners, and it's going to be very difficult to pass Tamer in these last corners unless Tamer somehow leaves the door open, but Tamer's keeping him on the outside.
We have this battle, but Sergey, the one who lost it all, but then got it all back, is stuck behind Sam. Sam claiming first, Sergey second, and it is...
He made it!
He made it! He got it past Tamer! Tamer out of the final!
Trying for his first race out here. We will see him in the final as well.
That is awesome. It's unfortunate to all the people that we lost who will not be making it into the final, all these top contenders. But these people fought it out in this contentious race, and they made it to the top 4, and we will see them in the final unless penalties come in. Hello everyone, and welcome to the winter season 2025 final. We had a thrilling LCQ leading up into this, and now we have all 24 karts getting ready to get started on this reverse direction race for the first points of the season.
Also, really quick correction from the LCQ. Every time I shouted Makil, that should have actually been Joseph Checkers. The name was appearing wrong, and he's the only racer in the paddock that eludes me every time I do my paddock walk. So congratulations, Joseph, you win this time. Speaking of winning, the grid today is, we got Kirk Strong starting on pole. We got side by side with Stephen Barrett, who managed to beat Paulo Bettini in his heat race. And in third, I'm going to call him the Stig because he's in a black suit, white helmet with a GoPro. It's hard to tell, but we will get that name. Actually, that might be Davidson Mann in third, possibly.
Could be.
It's really hard to tell.
It's the Stig for now.
But here they come. The flags waved and they're away, going down the front straight. In the roller coaster, the track is drying up. They split, but Kirk has got the inside, and Kirk maintains the lead of the race. Can he close the door in the roller coaster? I think he can, and it seems from this angle he did. So Kirk maintains his lead in second place.
That is a lot wide going into double apex.
Yeah, there's a lot of action in double apex. However, Kirk and Steven maintain their first and second positions. Because second, third, and fourth are wearing pure white helmets with black race suits, it is so hard to tell from this distance who is where. But based on what I can tell, they haven't changed positions.
Yep.
So in fifth place is Alex Sigian, and in sixth is David. Seventh
looks like we do have some combat up in the top here.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of combat. Things are exploding, and Steven steals the lead away from Kirk. So it is Steven who is currently leading the race. And they're not even done with the first lap yet. Brilliant by Steven. Gonna try to take an early championship lead since Paulo's stuck in third.
Yep, Paulo has a lot of work to do to get past Kirk. And then we've seen Paulo and Steven battle it out. They are pretty competitive when it's somewhat dry scenarios in the wet. Paulo clears at the moment. But yeah, it looks like Paulo's stuck on the outside there. And it looks like the Stig might be able to get one over there. Oh, no, he'll be stuck on the outside.
We won't have to call him the Stig for much longer because, oh no, Alex is in the barriers!
Oh, he was
Alex must have got pushed. Oh no, we got another car in the barriers too!
Another flash right there. People overcooking it in the excitement of the lap one chaos, and then just losing traction and flying off the track, and then getting a nice dosage of the frigid water. I'll have to check up on the temperature when I get the chance to, but it feels like it feels cold. I would say it's like 36 or 40 degrees right now.
That's pretty chilly out here. So, quick update. We no longer have to call him the Stig because that was, in fact, Davidson Mann, who is still in third. Brilliant drive by Davidson. Hopefully I didn't jinx you this time. Go get him. But as to earlier in that end of lap turn one incident, that's what I was saying in the LCQ about the track drying in weird spots. Because it rained overnight, then froze overnight, then stopped raining, there's a weird hybrid between a somewhat dry racing line and a slick off line as Davidson tries to make a move on Kirk into turn 3. Can he make the move? Can he close the door? He gets the move done. And Davidson, now in third. Paulo is now in fourth. Paulo not having the best. Wait, never mind. That's backwards. Davidson's the one with the GoPro. Is Paulo making the... Wait, is that... Their helmets are so similar! Please! That's alright, they crossed the line. They update the times. That is, in fact, Davidson in second and Paulo in fourth. And Paulo doing whatever he can to try to gain these positions to at least get on the podium, let alone the race win. Paulo, our defending champion, is currently in fourth. Also, update, if you watched the last season video, you know that we have a returning champion, Chem Aiken, who's currently in seventh. He has come back from a several-year hiatus to challenge Paulo for the championship, so let's see what he can do. Historically, Chem has been the number one contender to challenge Paulo to the championship, and I believe he has taken that championship from him a couple times before. But he's currently in seventh. And he's got his work cut out for him.
Yeah, especially with all these other people that are actually rising up to contend Paulo here, because now we have 3 people in front of him.
Yep. So Paulo Still in a decent position, but nowhere near the position he'd like to be in, which is first, obviously. But yeah, Stephen Barrett not running away with the race. Davidson still right behind him. This train of 4 karts is going to turn into 5 karts, because it seems to me that David has the pace to catch up to the top 4 and see what he can do about getting a podium or even a race win.
Yep, we have Davidson Mann in second, and then it's David Bastiavuli that's in 5th. And then we have all the people behind him. We have a 24-kart race here. Tons of stories, tons of fighting going on. And then, of course, the people from the LCQ who are wanting to carve out more points from going from one 20-minute race to another.
Speaking of LCQ winners, I see Sergey in the mix. He's clawing his way through the field. The LCQ winners are, in fact, making progress. It's slow but steady. It's very difficult, especially in these conditions, to make it past the whole train from the back. It can be done, but it's a very monumentally tall order. However, going down through turns 4 and 5, we got our leaders in the train. Will they make a move into turn 3? They all seem to have equal momentum, covering the inside, then the outside. Very skilled in defensive driving from our leaders here. It seems they're all following each other. But
following the textbook pretty much.
Oh yeah, the only person that doesn't have to follow the textbook right now is David, currently in 5th. He needs to follow the optimal line to catch up to the train, which I'm sure he's doing, and I can see he is doing.
It looks like we have a fight kicking up around here, or maybe someone just taking a different line through there. And that's all settled as they fall into line right there.
So yeah, right now we're in the phase of the race where everyone's scoping each other out. See who jumps first, who's going to make a mistake, getting their tires on one of the slick spots. If I pull up the lap times again, we can see just how much the track is dried. They're setting now 82.4s, 82.3s, when they were setting 83s earlier. So the track is indeed getting slowly better every lap.
Especially when you have so many tires just racing on it. Like in the LCQ, we have a little less racers on there, but we have the full 24 tires on there, racing across it, keeping those temperatures up for the tires and for the track itself, drying out the parts that are being raced on, especially since we saw a lot of too-wide action in the last race to dry out some of the lesser raced parts of the track.
One of my favorite phenomenons is coming out here to drive in the winter time. They're still open during the winter, and when it's freezing out and you pull into the pits, your tires are actually steaming. The tires get so warm, but the temperature's so cold it creates steam, and it looks like your tires are smoking. It's really cool.
It is really cool. So it is something that you need to avoid doing, just because you may know about the laws of friction, and just because your fingers are freezing. I would advise to not touch the open wheels while you're racing if you can reach it.
It is worth noting that David has caught up to the pack. We now have a 5-way train for the lead of the race. Stephen Barrett is gapping a little bit, but it's going to be everybody's still in contention. It's going to be a powder keg. It's going to be a pressure cooker. It's going to be whatever analogies I can come up with. I'm running out.
Yeah. Oven's been preheated, waiting for the ding, so that way we can get this battle underway, serve it up nice and steamy.
Whereas the LCQ was more of a shootout brawl, this is more of a calm, calculated, tactical battle. It's a battle of endurance. It's a battle of consistency. As I see Davidson get a little squibbly, but, oh man, Kirk gave him a bump draft, tell him to get a move on, because, we got him move. Paulo's coming in, and when Paulo comes in, Kirk goes out.
Oh,
Kirk overcooked it.
Oh no, it goes sideways, he's stuck on the hill. He's going to think of rejoining. He's going to need help. He is out of the race.
That is
here.
Kirk's race over. That is unfortunate for Kirk.
Was that Paulo pushing him out?
I doubt it. Paulo knows how to leave space. I feel like Kirk overcooked it on the exit because it's really hard to take that outside line, even though it's the racing line. If you're not on the line, Kirk got stuck on the outside of turn 3. And what that did, it compromised his momentum coming out, but it also put him on the damp part of the track. And we know that there's a dry line and a wet line down here. The track is half wet, half dry. Kirk's tires were probably more wet than he was anticipating, being shoved onto that dry part of the track just simply because it was too wide to turn 3. In my opinion, that is a racing incident, not helped by the fact that there's water on the track.
Yeah, that's just really sucks all around. Like, getting stuck on the track, he wasn't able to recover it and just go sideways and then get stuck on the bottom of the hill to where he required someone to push him out. And now he's got a lot of work to do to get back into the race.
Well, let me pull the paces up. It is it possible for Paulo to catch up? I'm going to look. So, Paulo, his best lap is in 81.9, and the leaders are actually gapping faster. Unfortunately, based on the data I have right now, it doesn't seem like Paulo can catch up to the leaders. However, Chem Aiken, the person who's basically Paulo's got a target on his back, and the person holding the rifle to game that target is Chem right behind him. We're going to reignite a several season-long championship rivalry between Paulo and Chem. Let's see how this pans out. These two have been rivals with each other for longer than I've been racing here. Chem goes down the inside. There's contact. And that almost put Paulo out. Almost.
But he's back into it. He's got the inside line. He'll be able to reclaim that position. How does Paulo do that? He gets nearly pushed off the track. He goes off the track a little bit, rejoins, and still keeps his position. He's just a wizard on that go-kart.
Yeah, Chem, he saw that opportunity. He wanted to go the inside line of light bulb, as we were saying in the LCQ. The inside line of light bulb is extremely dubious. But that was a risk that Chem was willing to take, and unfortunately it did result in contact with Paulo. Paulo, using every bit of skill that he has, kept it on the track, and was able to only lose out to Chem in this instance. Now, Paulo does have what it takes to catch back up to Chem and battle, but now Chem is being under threat by, that is Thomas making a return. Thomas, one of my rivals, actually. Thomas is now fighting David, and we have this big three-way squabble for fourth. Paulo's still on top. David gets by Thomas.
Now, this is some great racing. Like, Thomas, he came up really quickly through the Pro-Am series, and I raced against him, and by raced against him, he was up there in front of the pack while I was down in the mid-pack, and he was just really confident in the race car and was able to get quite a lot of podiums in the Pro-Am series, and even get some podiums in the Pro series while that was still around.
Yeah, I think Thomas is a race winner around here. He's no joke. He's the one in the red and white race suit that is currently in this train of cars. He's currently sitting fifth. He got past David. So Thomas decided to take a hiatus from this league race to pursue other forms of racing, but it's good to have him back here.
Yep, and we missed him in the last fall season, but back in the winter season, he's here, he's racing, and he's showing that he has not lost it at all as he is fighting amongst the giants at the top.
I just want to say how quickly these racers can de-rust after being away for so long, especially in these tricky conditions.
Oh, it looks like an over-under is thrown.
Oh boy!
And he gives the position back because there's minor contact. He waves
There
him
is
forward.
minor contact. I don't think that was a position back. That was Davidson taking the lead of the race, and that was Stephen Barrett not being happy about it. You can see Stephen is bumper to bumper with Davidson. They are going to be fighting this till the end. Also fighting, Paulo got in front of Chem. Chem couldn't fight it back. So now we got Paulo. Chem gets it back in double apex, and now also lets Thomas.
No.
Thomas also gets it. This is terrible for Paulo, losing 2 positions. He's our defending champion.
And it seems that on this whole race he has been defending, but one little slip up right through there, and there's 2 positions gone, and he's just in the middle of that train looking to... It's just all about damage mitigation from his perspective, I think, because they just haven't been able to catch up to the top 2 here as we watch this dramatic battle between Davidson Mann and Stephen Barrett.
Yeah, so Davidson's still in the lead. Steven is right behind him. Good, you got the camera on him. They're going to see what they can do in a turn 3. And so far, they're just bumper to bumper. I think what Steven is doing is scoping Davidson out to see where he can catch him off guard. Davidson covering the inside as well he should.
Yeah.
Davidson knows how to win a race around here. He's done it before. In fact, Steven's also done it. Everything's on the line.
Also to consider, in literally the last lap, Steven pulled literally the same move to try to get an over-under on Davidson to get that position back, but this time Davidson wasn't letting him have it. These two racers that we have up here in the lead, between Steven and Davidson, both have a history of just being able to set killer lap times and being able to go really fast in the qualifying area, but then they get jinxed or cursed in whatever way and end up falling back and not quite able to do it in the racing. But here we are in the first race of the winter season, and they're able to show their racecraft, and they're able to race against each other and lead this debut race of the winter season.
Speaking of intense racecraft of the season, David tried to make a sneaky move into turn 1 on Paulo, but Paulo caught it last minute and said, nope, we're not doing that. So that actually compromised Paulo. Paulo is under threat by everybody. Being the reigning defending champion for so long puts a massive bounty on your head, and no one's leaving anything on the table. David even has the momentum advantage. He's going to catch up to Paulo and stick with him to the end of the race to see what he can do. David, I believe, is also a race winner around here, and also one of my championship rivals back in the day. But everybody's actually doing superb. Great first race of the season, but so far we are now entering the late stages of the race. We got a couple laps left. Let me pull up those lap times for you to see how everyone's doing.
In the meantime, the race still goes on at the top two, Steven right on the back of Davidson's bumper. And then in third, fourth, we have Thomas looking to claim the podium spot in the debut race of the season. He wants to get immediately back onto that podium, a familiar spot for him, riding right on third place's tail.
It seems like the race is starting to settle down just a little bit. Yeah, the race is finally starting to settle down-ish. We have a two-way battle for first, a three-way battle for third, and in all this kerfuffle, it's Randy that actually got ahead of David. So that's going to be a fun talking point at lunch today.
Yes, indeed. Who's in third place again?
What was that?
Who's in third place again?
Third place currently is Chem Aiken, one of the returning championship contenders from years past.
All right, so we have two of the people who've gone on hiatuses. Thomas's hiatus quite a bit shorter than Jeb Aiken's here, but Thomas is going to be proving himself against a previous champion here, as it looks like Paul is on the tail of both of them.
And it's the white flag final lap. If you're going to make a move, now's the time to do it. It's do or die now. If you're not content with where you're at, you better make something do about it. That sentence fell apart.
Yeah, here we have the top two. Steven still on the back of Davidson here. Seeing that white flag, everything he's learned from falling behind Davidson right now needs to be employed, needs to be used. And of course, you also need to not allow that return move if he is able to find a move past him. And then we have Thomas and Jev here looking to get their first podium after being on hiatus for a bit. There's lots of stories here. And of course, our returning champion stuck behind him in fifth, looking to damage mitigate and reclaim everything that he can. I would say first place is pretty much impossible at this point for Paulo, but he's just got to do what he can to stick to him and take advantage of any chaos that happens from the moves that are going to be thrown as we approach the final three corners of this race.
And once the instant that white flag threw, everyone started driving perfectly. I didn't see any opening moves outside of anything at all. Steven really wanted to find any way past Davidson, but Davidson said, no thank you, I'm taking home this trophy tonight. And Davidson, man, wins the race, followed very closely by Steven. And in third place, we got Chem, but fourth place, right behind Chem, is Paulo. Paulo made the move on Thomas. So that was great for Paulo to damage mitigation for the championship.
Well, we're going to have such a unique podium going into it. We still had plenty of racing going on back at the checkered flag, but all that is done. We'll have our championship results at the podium. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll be here in about 2 weeks' time or tomorrow, depending on when videos are uploaded, for the second race of the winter season.
Alrighty guys, first of all, thank you guys all for coming out today. Round one of the winter series, and we still had a nice full pack out there, even though it was a wet day. So thank you guys for coming out. We're going to start off with today's podium. We're going to start with the fastest lap, though, which you did not go to anybody on the podium.
Oh.
Fastest lap with an 80.209, Randy Cole.
Woo!
Randy? You got fastest lap. Let's go. You did? You got it by 2/10. All right, and moving on to today's podium. Starting in 16th place, I believe, in the main event.
Wow.
Making his way all the way up to 3rd after not driving out here at all for 2.5, 3 years. Best lap time of an 80.5, 1.2 off the lead. Jim Aiken. Coming in 2nd place, part of a great battle for the lead that went on literally the whole race. He had best lap time of an 80.737 with a .148 gap. Coming in 2nd place, we got Stephen Barrett. And starting the season off how he wants to with an 80.817 best lap time. But that's not what he cares about. He cares about this right here. 1st place, Davidson Man. Alrighty. 3, 2, 1.